This is a history revision video on why there was a recovery under Stresemann. Okay, so when Stresemann became Chancellor, he came into a situation where he got to deal with hyperinflation. There were big problems, social, economic and political, caused by hyperinflation. And when he became Chancellor, he dealt with those problems. The first thing he did was recall the old currency, destroy it and introduce a new currency. This new currency was called the Rentenmark, and this began to stabilise prices. As stability began to return, then confidence would return in the currency. He put in charge a new Reichsbank to control that currency, which further ensured stability. He then took another key decision, which was to call off passive resistance. He needed to get the Ruhr back to work. So that meant getting the factories open again. At the same time as doing that, he begins to negotiate the Dawes Plan with the Americans. And this is vital because the outcome of the Dawes Plan results in the French and the Belgian governments agreeing to withdraw their troops. So Stresemann's actions deal with hyperinflation and stability begins to return. Now if we look in more detail at the Dawes Plan, you can see that annual payments were reduced to an affordable level. There was more flexibility there. So the Germans weren't saying they wouldn't pay, they are prepared to pay, but it needs to be on a more flexible basis. So that brings stability. This next one is crucial. American banks would invest in German industry, and that injection of cash was vital. Remember, at the end of the First World War, Germany is bankrupt, so they need investment to get the factories going again, which will have knock-on effects. I've already said that the French leave the Ruhr because of the Dawes Plan being put in place. And as a result of that investment, industrial output doubles, employment goes up, and the income that the government receives from taxation improves, giving them more choice about how to spend their money. However, it does anger right-wing groups. In general, they're annoyed at Stresemann. He's agreed in principle to pay the reparations. He's taking American money. They see it as chaining the young generation to this commitment for reparations. And they see it as looking weak and that the French have won. Now, Stresemann doesn't stay as Chancellor for very long. However, he does become the Foreign Minister. One of the first things that is sorted out as Foreign Minister is something called the Locarno Pact. And in the Locarno Pact, Germany agreed to the, 1919 border with France and Belgium. So again, it looks like they are accepting the decisions that were made in the Treaty of Versailles. Fundamentally, France is promising peace with Germany. And as a result of this Locarno Pact or Locarno Treaty, Allied troops leave the Rhineland. So they are trusting Germany to keep it demilitarised, but they don't need to be there to keep an eye on them. This brings about a restoration of Germany's reputation. Germany is a country that can be trusted, and that is symbolised by the decision to open talks about German membership into the League of Nations. Germany hadn't been allowed to be a member until it could prove it was peace-loving. That leads us on to the next slide. Germany joins the League of Nations in 1926 and becomes a member of the League of Nations Council, which makes the most important decisions. And that yet again shows that Germany is a valued member of the international community. It's being treated as equal and it is respected, and this has a knock-on effect in terms of improving general relations with other countries, so therefore things like trade improves. In 1928, the Kellogg-Briand Pact is signed. And Germany is involved in this as well. It's a pact, an agreement that says that the countries who sign it will not use war as a tool of foreign policy. They won't use war to solve their problems. And this again seems to indicate that the Weimar Republic is doing a good job. It has brought stability, it has restored Germany's international reputation, and Germany is a country that can be trusted. And this is reflected in politics, in that the moderate parties are the ones gaining the most votes. The final act of Stresemann's career is the negotiating and signing of the Young Plan in 1929, and this was to do with reparations as well. Now this reduced the overall bill from 6.6 billion to 2 billion, so it slashes the overall cost of the reparations, and it provides an extra 59 years to pay. So that overall reduces the annual amount that they have to pay, which frees up government spending power and allows them to lower taxes. If you lower ordinary people's taxes, they're going to have more money to spend in the shops, and that should generate growth. Now, unfortunately, the long-term benefits of the Young Plan don't happen because of the Wall Street crash, something that Stresemann isn't around to see because he dies before it happens, and the Wall Street crash changes everything. So although there looks to be a lot of stability now and the moderate parties are doing well, that stability was based on American money. And you'll see in the next video how the Wall Street crash changes the entire situation.